Welcome to the Hunt Group tutorial. This multimedia sales tool is intended as a high-level overview for the end-user customer and is going to explain what a Hunt Group is, show 5 simple options that you can deploy, and help you to optimize the communications flow for your business. By deploying Hunt Groups, a business can have a single incoming phone number route to many people and control how that routing occurs, provide an optimal sales and support experience by ensuring that every call is answered as quickly and efficiently as possible, and effectively handle after-hours, peak hours, or low-staff situations using voicemail and other options. Let's take a look at the key features of a Hunt Group. A Hunt Group enables incoming calls to a single business number to be routed to a selected group of users. This Hunt Group call distribution is based on specific routing policies, which can be customized to suit the specific needs of your business. This includes configuring how long each phone will ring before moving on to the next in the Hunt Group, and the total time that an unanswered call will be allowed to ring through before moving to other options such as overflow users or voicemail. We're going to take a look at Hunt Group routing policies in more detail later on. Hunt Groups allow calls to be answered faster and more efficiently, which provides a much higher level of customer service for any size and type of business, because after all, missed calls translate into missed revenue. The first use case we're going to take a look at is the fictional Spring Garden Florist, a small local shop who have to deal with peak period demands. The small team is often engaged with other duties, or are sometimes out on the road with deliveries. Because the team is so small, the owners never know exactly who is going to be in the shop. Therefore, all incoming calls will ring all the phones at once, so whoever is available can pick up the call. This is called a simultaneous Hunt Group. The mobile phone numbers of the owners are also included in this Hunt Group, as they want to make sure that all calls are picked up live if possible. The benefits for Spring Garden Florist include a professional appearance despite their small size, personal service, and thus an increase in order uptake. Now let's take a look at how a simultaneous Hunt Group works. Incoming calls to the main number ring all the phones at once, letting anyone with a free hand pick up the calls. As mentioned, even mobile phone numbers can be included in the group. Should no one be able to answer the phone, the owners decided to limit the amount of total time that callers would hear ringing to about 30 seconds before going to voicemail, as they don't want customers to get impatient and hang up. And when the shop closes at 5 p.m. sharp, all calls are immediately routed to voicemail. Our next use case is the Napa Valley Winery. The owner, Steve, employs about 25 people, and as there is no dedicated receptionist, he is assigned a small group to answer incoming calls. Some of these employees have more seniority than others, and Steve would prefer it if the more junior staff answered the phones first. Thus, Steve has chosen to deploy a solution that routes the incoming calls in a continuous loop through his assigned group, but always starting with the same person first. This Hunt Group is called regular, sometimes known as sequential. The main benefit for Steve is that he can protect his more senior staff from having to answer a lot of calls by defining who gets the calls first. Ultimately, this helps Steve improve his business efficiency. So let's take a look at how a regular Hunt Group works. Incoming calls always start with user number 1, who in this case is Joe. On busy or no answer, the calls continue to loop through the assigned list. The owner, Steve, has chosen to limit incoming calls to only 2 rings per phone before the calls move on to the next phone. Should all the employees be engaged when a call comes in, a backup or overflow number, in this case Steve himself, can be defined. 1 or more overflow numbers can be assigned as necessary. Steve has decided after a total of 90 seconds, calls should go to his number. And should Steve not be available, the calls go to the company voicemail. Note that the main Hunt Group phone number for the company is a virtual phone number and is different from other numbers, including individual employee numbers. As example, Joe has a separate number that will also ring his desk phone. He can easily tell if the call is coming from the Hunt Group or not by the caller display. Our next example is Silver Spoon Design, a multi-location regional chain where customer service is everything. There is a small but dedicated customer service group per retail location. The level of knowledge varies greatly between the agents, and the turnover can be fairly high. Silver Spoon has assigned a virtual phone number for each of the 4 hunt groups, one for each retail location. Incoming calls are routed to the correct location by the phone number and are then distributed on a prioritized basis. In this case, the most experienced agents will always get the calls first. This hunt group is called weighted call distribution. The benefit is that Silver Spoon's high-end customers always get the most knowledgeable agent possible on the call, resulting in an increase in return business and referrals. In weighted call distribution, each employee is assigned a weight or priority, which adds up to 100%. As example, Janine is assigned 50% of the calls, as she is the most knowledgeable agent. Sally and Mary are about equal, so they are both assigned 25%. Lucy is new, but she can help out in a pinch, so Lucy is also included in the group, but assigned 0%. This means that Lucy will only get calls if all the other agents are busy. If all employees are busy, or it's after hours, the calls go to a sophisticated voicemail system, referred to as unified messaging. Silver Spoon wants to make it easy for their employers to pick up the messages from wherever they are. With unified messaging, employees can pick up any type of message, email, fax, or even video messages from a single unified inbox on their preferred device, including PCs and smartphones. Our next use case is Harris Consulting, a small but very specialized consulting firm. Out of the 8 employees, about half are the top experts, and the owner, Mr. Harris, would like to ensure that they are the ones to answer the incoming calls, which are typically from one of his existing customers. In this case, incoming calls always start with the person who follows the last person to receive a call in the assigned list. This ensures the workload is distributed evenly amongst a small team, and everyone is given their turn of fielding calls. This hunt group policy is called circular. Harris Consulting has now ensured their callers always get an expert, and their top reputation for confidentiality is maintained. In a circular hunt group, the system notes the last person to receive a call and then rings the next person on the list. As example, Dave has just hung up, so Peter's phone will ring next, followed by John, and then followed by Steve. The owner, Mr. Harris, is also concerned about clients hearing ringing phones and getting no answer, so after only 20 seconds, the callers go to voicemail. Our last example is Hobbs Media, a national firm who handles the PR needs of very contentious clients. Hobbs has 2 teams to answer the calls. The first team is considered primary, and the second team is used as backup should the primary team be busy. All incoming callers to Hobbs Media are greeted by an auto attendant where they are prompted to choose the correct department. Should they choose the PR department, they will be routed to the employee in the assigned group who has been idle the longest. This is known as a uniform hunt group. Should all the members of the team be busy, or there is no answer in a predefined period of time, the call is then sent to the second team. This scenario is known as a nested hunt group. The benefit for Hobbs Media is that all calls are routed quickly to the correct department. They are then answered promptly by a live agent, even if the primary team is completely engaged, and Hobbs Media can continue to enjoy its reputation as the premier PR firm. So let's take a look at how an auto attendant and hunt groups can work together. All incoming calls are greeted by the auto attendant, prompting the user to choose the correct department. In this case, the user chooses the PR department. The call is immediately routed to the primary group of workers using a uniform hunt group. This means that the system looks for the employee who has been idle the longest, which happens to be Chris. If all the employees in the PR department are busy or there is no answer, the calls will be routed to the secondary backup hunt group. This is known as a nested hunt group. The company has also chosen to use the same routing policy for the second group, but they could have chosen any other routing policy. Hunt groups are simple to configure and really only require a few pieces of key information. Your company's group administrator or your service provider can simply click through an easy-to-use web portal which will prompt the user for the required information. To find out more about what Hunt groups can do for your organization, please contact your service provider. In closing, let's take a look at the key benefits of Hunt groups. As you've seen through this tutorial, Hunt groups are much more than just simple call forwarding. Hunt groups are very easy to configure and deploy. They work well with other front office services such as auto attendant, voicemail, and unified messaging. And finally, they increase workplace efficiency as well as increase customer capture and retention rates for all types of organizations. This ends our Hunt group tutorial. Thank you for watching.